Hi there, in today's video, we will learn about HTML headings. HTML headings, as the name implies, are used to create headlines. There are 6 levels of headings in HTML. We use H1 to H6 tags to define these headings. H1 defines the most important heading, followed by H2, H3, and so on. H1 headings are used as main headings on web pages. H2 to H6 are normally used as subheadings. Each of the HTML headings has their own default sizes depending on the tag used. However, we can use CSS to change how headings appears on web pages. HTML headings plays an important role when it comes to creating of web pages. Headings help in defining the structure and hierarchy of web pages. The fact that HTML headings does all this doesn't mean we should use them anyhow. Don't use HTML headings for the purpose of making text bold or big. Use them to create headlines. Using more than one H1 elements on web pages is allowed by HTML specification, but is not considered as a good practice. So I recommend you use only one H1 heading per page because it's good for screen reader users. On your web page, avoid skipping heading levels. Start from H1, followed by H2, H3 in that order. Let's get into our editor and start creating some headings. So over here, I've created a new file and save it as headings.html. Let's go inside of our body and create all the 6 levels of headings we have in HTML. The content is going to be heading 1. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to duplicate this. I can just copy and paste and then change the task name and then the content. What I'm going to do in this editor is that I'm going to use a shortcut. So in this editor, place your cursor at the end of the closing tag of your H1 and then hold down Ctrl, Shift, and then press D multiple times to duplicate this. So I need this 5 more times, so press D 5 times. Now change your task name and then your content. So H2, so after you are done, save this and then right click inside of your code and then click in open in browser. So right now you can see that all our headings are displaying over here. So we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6. H1 is the longest and biggest over here, followed by H2, H3 and then H4 to H6. I was also talking about not skipping heading levels. Let me show you what I meant by that. So let's assume that we are creating something about drug abuse. I'm going to clean this code. And then my title is going to be drug abuse. It can be any name, but I'm going to give it drug abuse. So my main heading is drug abuse. And then I'm creating another heading, which is going to be H2 heading, and the content is going to be causes of drug abuse. And then let's create a paragraph to explain this. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to generate a dummy text. So in this editor, you can generate a Lorem Ipsum text. Those of you who don't know what a Lorem Ipsum text is, It is a dummy test, okay? So assuming you are creating a website for a client, and then the content that you are supposed to put on the web page is not ready yet, you can use a dummy test, and then when the content is ready, you replace the dummy test with the actual content. So you can go to Google and search for Lorem Ipsum. You are going to get a lot of websites that you can generate your Lorem Ipsum test for. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to generate the Lorem Ipsum test right here in this editor. To do this, type in the $, and then type in Lorem, and then hit tab on your keyboard, and there we go. Let's create another subheading, and this is going to be effects of drug abuse. Let's generate another dummy test over here. Save your work, Ctrl+S, and then right click inside of your code and run this to see the results. So over here we have our H1 heading, which is drug abuse, and we have a subheading, causes of drug abuse, and we have a paragraph explaining that, and we have effects of drug abuse, and then we have another paragraph explaining the effects of drug abuse. So we started with H1, then we came to A2, then another A2. We are not skipping levels over here, heading levels over here. So assuming we have another subheading under effects of drug abuse, we are going to use H3. So guys, that's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Like and share this video. Never give up. Have a wonderful day. Take care.